by NSS Training College, Ottapalam, in collaboration with NSS Training College, Changanasheri, and NSS Training College, Pandalam. And our workshop theme is techno-pedagogical aspect of teaching. As we all know, online competency is the need of the hour. We need to equip ourselves for equipping our teacher trainers also in this field. So, with that thought, we are here organizing 6 days faculty development program in collaboration with our sister concerns. Today we have Dr. Biju K, Assistant Professor of Central University, Tamil Nadu, to share his expertise in the field of Moodle. So I welcome once again one and all to this program, and I request Ampli teacher to deliver the welcome speech. Teacher, it's over to you.
Hello everyone, a very good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Miss.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm very happy that our college, NSS Training College Ottapalam, is organizing this short-term course, this online short-term course in collaboration with NSS Training College Pandalam and NSS Training College Changanasheri. The theme of the course is Techno-Pedagogical Aspects of Global Competency in Higher Education. I think it is highly relevant in the present scenario because the teaching community cannot survive without these competencies. So this is, I appreciate the timely initiative taken by the resource persons and then the coordinators and the persons behind this. And I hope that this will be a fruitful venture. The participants will benefit from this short-term course. I appreciate and thankful to the resource persons, Dr. Biju, Assistant Professor, Central University of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Tyagu, Assistant Professor, Central University of Kerala, and of course, Dr. K.S. Sajan, my own faculty. So I appreciate their initiative and their help, and I'm thankful to them. And I thank all the persons behind this, the initiative of all the persons behind this venture. And I hope that you will all benefit from this. So I wish you all the best and hope this will be a successful venture. So with great pleasure, I officially declare this short-term course inaugurated. Thank you all.
Now I present the speech by Principal of NSS Training College, Pandalam, Dr. V.K. Usha Devi.
Respected professors, dear friends and colleagues, it is indeed an honor and privilege for me to address such a wonderful group of audience on this auspicious occasion of the inaugural session for the 6 days faculty development program being conducted from today onwards. The lockdown days due to the pandemic taught us several lessons, and it necessitated a paradigm shift in the educational scenario to a more IT-oriented instructional strategies in the teaching learning process and techno-pedagogical aspects in higher education. I'm immensely happy that the 3 training colleges joined hands together, right from the planning to the execution of this venture. And we are thankful to the NSS management for all the help and support and encouragement given to us in this regard. I do appreciate the efforts of the principal and her team of NSS Training College Pandalam who have taken the lead, and also the principal in charge of NSS Training College Pandalam for collaborating with us. I I must congratulate Dr. Setu, Dr. Sudhish, Dr. Anita, and Dr. Lakshmi, who are the coordinators of this program, for their timely intervention in all the activities of this program, and that too within a short span of time for materializing this program. With heart full of happiness, I welcome all the enthusiastic participants who are eagerly waiting for the sessions and to benefit from the expertise of Dr. Tiago, Dr. Sajan, Dr. Biju. Dear resource persons, thank you very much for your willful cooperation in sharing your expertise with us, and we wish you may have a great time ahead. And dear participants, have a good time. Thank you.
And now I welcome the message of Principal in charge of NSS College, Chamanasheri.
I am Dr. P.J. Jimon, Principal in charge of NSS Training College, Pandalam. Nowadays, our world is going through a very tough situation due to COVID-19. In this situation, there emerges need for a new education platform. Realizing this, NSS Training College at Tepalam, in collaboration with NSS Training College, Pandalam and NSS Training College, Changanasheri, is organizing a 6-day faculty development program. Short-term course on techno-pedagogical aspects of global competence in higher education. This is an innovative approach to mitigate the present occasion. I appreciate all for participating.
Now, initially, I want to tell something regarding our FDP. Technically, this FDP can accommodate now only 100 participants, but there are 1,080 registered participants out there. So I think it is very difficult to deliver all the live content for all the participants. So I like for all the 1,000 participants, these 100 participants should speak. Our FDP consists of a module which is already printed in the brochure to equip the teachers and teacher educators to cope up with online learning, which may begin in June 1st itself. So in order to complete that training, we need some practices. So it is not just a webinar, it's a web-based workshop. So each day you may have some activities related to what each day's program. Today our resource person is Dr. Biju. He will join with us within 5 minutes. But before that, we may have to cancel this Google Meet room so as to accommodate him because he need a room initiated by himself to flexible for himself to add persons and present himself, etc. So within minutes, I will share another link in the group, and I request all the participants to rejoin in the new link. And a YouTube live video is shared, which may, I think, which may already started streaming. If anyone can access that link, it is already mailed to you uh, just before the commencement of this workshop. It is already that link is mailed to you. So if it is available to you, just verify whether the YouTube live is available or not. Okay. Then
Rajan sir, please record all this.
yeah, okay. I started recording, but I think from the comments of YouTube, I feel that the live session is not so fruitful. So I will record this session and deliver to all those who need this evening itself. Okay. Now I may regenerate this room in order to accommodate Dr. Pichu. So, yeah, okay, right.
So, dear friends, very good afternoon. I'm still people are coming. Okay, anyway, I'm forgetting about the other people who are joining right now. So let us start discussing about the different platforms where we can have the learning management system. So basically, I hope, yes, during these almost 45 plus days of lockdown, most of you might have experienced or explored the different options of taking or keeping your learners engaged in learning. So there are different ways in which we can keep our learners engaged. The greater challenge is how exactly we would like to engage them. Do we need the online live streaming or online video based lessons, or do we need to keep our learners engaged in different ways? So keeping that in mind, maybe you can decide your way of keeping your learners engaging depending upon your availability, the network availability of your learners. And the greater challenge would be, even if they have internet, some of our students may not have a proper home environment to take part, maybe a kind of online video conferencing lessons. So first of all, let me keep a humble submission before you. Please let us decide when and how do we need to contact with our students. Should we contact them like what I am doing right now, keeping them online, meeting them online, or can we think of another way of keeping them engaged in learning through sharing the different kind of resources, making them learn by themselves? Maybe they can have interactions, maybe text based interactions among their peer group, and maybe after a stipulated time period you can ask them to share their doubts, and then you can decide, okay, I as a teacher need to be in face to face through the technological possibilities. So first of all, maybe I think most of you are familiar with whenever we try to make our learners engaged, or we take the classroom teaching learning, we will have a plan. And that plan, we know that that will be more flexible because I have enough freedom when I go to the classroom. But when I have the same plan and I am trying to convert that into an online platform, the same kind of flexibility may not be there. That would be a challenge when you go online, and especially when you go online in a live mode through the technological possibilities, the different options with which we can keep our learners, most of you are familiar with the learning whenever we plan. One side we have the pandemic, the challenge, COVID is threatening every day. And the other side, I could see that there is another pandemic or the disaster of the online webinars. And most of us would like to be online. We would like to see the resource person, or we would like to see the other participants, and we would like to interact. But I would like to present before you that it's not mandatory, basically. Now I know some of you may be using WhatsApp platform to share your teaching learning plan among the students and share other resources. Some of you might have started using Google Classroom. Some of you may be using Edmodo. Some of you may be using Canvas, and maybe some of you might have already explored an LMS, especially an open LMS called Moodle. So either we can have a Moodle platform, we can have a Google Classroom, we can have the Zoom interaction, we can have Cisco WebEx, we can have Big Blue Button. So there are a number of options available right now in front of us. The challenge is whether these kind of platforms actually support us. One, technically. Two, maybe in terms of the pedagogic values or in terms of whatever methodology you are following. So whenever you think about any platform, let us think about which is the best platform which support me as maybe as a learner. I need to be very comfortable with the platform whichever I'm using, because recently only we know that Google has come up with the Google Meet. Now you have Microsoft Team is available. So there are a number of options available. There is no harm in exploring. But I would like to present before that there are some platforms which are very robust, which may not disturb you every time once you design maybe a teaching learning. So one such kind is, I would like to present before you, is the Moodle Cloud platform. And once I take you through the Moodle Cloud platform, then I can take you through the Google Classroom, Edmodo. Why I'm insisting these three? You can have a complete paper, or what UGC, in terms of UGC, what we say the course. So you may be offering different courses, and the entire course you can design whenever you get time and make it available for your students. And the greater challenge that we are facing through these online, whatever platform you are using right now, the assessment is a challenge. How do I make sure whether my learners are participating in my teaching learning? Recently, I was interacting with my students. They were telling, yes, sir, we have Google Meet. So my teacher used to tell you, close your microphone as well as you close your webcam. So once I allow every participant to block the maybe the webcam as well as the microphone, they can do their own work. I'll be maybe dictating, lecturing, demonstrating, whatever possible, maybe for 2 hours or 3 hours. But meanwhile, my participants may not be actively participating. They may not be listening. They may not be taking some notes. So that is a challenge whenever we go maybe live. But how will we capture the involvement, the participation of our learners? For that, we need some system. So basically, we know that whenever we need to capture the data, we need to have a server. So we need to have some server-based platforms which allows us to collect, capture the learner's work. Right now, I know that most of us are asking our students to send it by Google or a Google group, or we may ask them to share through WhatsApp. So there are different ways we are following. But once you are getting maybe, if you have 50 students, if 50 files are there in one day in your WhatsApp, the next day again 50 is going to come. So every day there will be 50 files, one after the other will be dumping on your system or in your mobile. So later on you will say that, okay, you don't send it. Maybe after 1 week you send it together as a folder. So these kind of challenges are there. Therefore, it would be better to have a server-based platform. And we know that every institution may not have a scope for going for a server. So why can't we make use of the servers which are available, the cloud-based servers? So Moodle Cloud is one of the best and easiest way of using the cloud service of one of the famous, most prestigious LMS called Moodle. So right now, I'll just shift my video into a presentation. And I will request you to just wait for a moment. I will take my screen. I hope you'll be able to see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can see now.
Yes. Okay. So right now I'm just typing moodlecloud.com in the search bar. I think you are able to see that. If somebody can respond, I think it will be easy.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah, you can see my screen, right? Where you can see a Moodle cloud.
Sir.
Yes, right. So in this Moodle cloud, maybe you can explore later on whenever you get time. So this Moodle cloud allows us to create an account.
Hello.
So when you go down in your site, you can see get your Moodle cloud Moodle site now. So what you can do, you can click on that.
Hello.
When you click on the Moodle cloud, getting free Moodle site, you will get a window like this, where it talks about the features, pricing, support, service status, etc. And when you go down, you can see there is a free trial. Free trial, it is free, where you can have 200 users, 400 MB maximum file storage, and you will get the latest Moodle version, unlimited activities. All these are possible. Even you can have a web conferencing. So the greater advantage of using a Moodle cloud, Moodle site is you need not go to maybe your Google Meet. You can have a video conferencing using a big blue button, which is built in as an add-on in Moodle Cloud. So a Moodle Cloud is a comprehensive platform. Then if you go down, you can see that if you are a starter, ideal for a single classroom, if you have enough money, maybe $80, you can have 50 maximum users and you can have unlimited activities. Then Moodle for schools, all these are possible. So right now, we will go for a 45-day trial. You can click on free trial, get started. When you click on that, you will be taken to a window, which is a new to Moodle, ready to get started, already have an account. So those who are viewing this particular window right now, if you don't have a account, you can click on create new account. And please take time to read this. There is no hidden thing. You have to confirm. I confirm I am 18 years or older. I agree to the Moodle Cloud Terms of Service, privacy notice, and Moodle Cloud Data Processing Agreement. Click on next. When you click on next, you have to give the details. Maybe I'll give first name, family name, then my email address. Then I have to confirm my email address. Then I have to select the mobile number. So India is there. Then you can type the number. Then you can take the time zone as Kolkata, and organization name, if needed, you can give. That is not compulsory. There are red star mark, which are all compulsory. And if you would like to take it to maybe to your institute, then you can give the institute name. You can select the country, India, and even you can write your role as teacher. I wish to receive Moodle Cloud news tips. If you are wishing, you can click next. So right now, I have already created an account. Therefore, I am getting this phone number is linked to an existing account. So therefore, I'm so sorry to show this, but you will be taken to the next window where they will ask to have a name for your site. So once you have a site name, then you have to give the details. They are very simple. So since I am having an account, I'll show you once you have an account. Once you have an account, what you can do. So like a Gmail account creation, you can create the new account. Once you have an account, once you create an account, you will get a confirmation mail in your mail, and clicking on the link, you can confirm that mail. Then you can start working. So I have already an account, and I can have my site name. Then you can give the password. So I have already bookmarked my site so that I can give the username. I can give the password. It will take your username and password. So this is my site. So by creating an account, you will be getting a website like this, where you can develop your course. I hope till this you may have some doubt, but when you start working, you will be able to work yourself. You can create. I have given a website address as teachtolearn.moodlecloud.com. So you will be getting a site name like this. When you, whatever name you are giving, you will get a site in your name. You will be the administrator of the site. And then you can work anything on this. So suppose if you are getting like this, I would like to create a new course. I have already created a course called ICT Pedagogy. And by default, you will have a site called Introduction to Moodle. And if you click on that, you can see this default course itself gives you all the details how to work with Moodle. so that you can explore during this time. So I'm clicking, going on home. I have the site pages. I have the dashboard, and you can see that there are different options in the left side: home, dashboard, site page, my courses, online users. See, this is one very interesting thing. When you have a site like this, suppose you are enrolling your students, maybe 50 students. Whenever you are giving some work, for example, you say that by tomorrow you have to finish this work. You have given different resources in this particular site. You can check how many are online, and even you can check how many of your students were using maybe for last 5 minutes, or maybe before some 2 hours. So you can have a track of how many students are really involved in working. Then at the site administration, you can click on the site administration. There are different options available, like notification, registration, module services, users, courses. Click on course. When you click on course, so the path is clicking on home, site administration, courses. In this, you can manage course and categories, course custom fields, add a category, add a new course. Why am I getting manage course and categories? I have already created a course. Maybe those who are working for the first time, you may not get manage courses and categories. So let me add a new course. From this onwards, everyone can start working maybe today itself. A course is nothing but the paper that you are handling. For example, you are handling a course. Maybe those who are teacher educators, they know that there is a course called Critical Understanding of ICT. So take the syllabus from your concerned university. Take that course. Keep that as a reference. Then let me click on add new course. Then you will get this page, add new course. So while adding new course, what you have to do, course full name. So let me type Critical Understanding of ICT. I would like to give a course short name. And when you see these two exclamatory mark, red exclamatory mark, these are required. So let me give CUICT. If your institute, your university is already given, because every university maybe in their syllabus itself, they may mention whether it is a core course, whether it is an elective course, whether it is an ability enhancement course. So accordingly, they may give the course name and course short name. Then you can course category, miscellaneous, don't worry about that right now. Course visibility, whether this course should be visible. This is important when, suppose I have created a course now, and next month or maybe after 6 months, I am creating another course. So when there are two courses, my participants may have a confusion. Therefore, what will I do? The previous course I can hide. There is a course visibility, hide and show. So right now I'm just showing. And then you can select the course start date. So you can announce the students. See, students, you can enroll, or I will add you in this. There are different ways to contact your students and enrolling, that I'll show later. So there is a course start date and course end date. You can change it if it is a 6 months program, if it is a 4 months program, or if you are offering an elective program, maybe for 2 months, you can decide that. And course ID number, it's not essential. Then you can have a small description. This course is about critical understanding of ICT based on NCTE syllabus. Or maybe you can write your own institution. Then if you would like to add some image to this course, when the course is visible in your dashboard, if you want to add some image, you can add image, maybe which is available in your desktop. You can drag it here. I'm leaving that. That is not very essential now. There is something called course format. You can decide the format, single activity format, social format, topic format, weekly format. Those who have done any Swayam program, you can remember Swayam were giving the weekly format, whereas we can follow the topic format because we are going to design a course. So in the course, maybe in a particular course, maybe the ICT program which I am talking about, I may have 5 units. So each unit can be a topic that I will show it. So I'm selecting topic format. Number of section, by default it is 4. Hidden section, course layout. Don't worry, right now you need not worry about it. Appearance, again, don't do anything right now. Files uploads, site upload limit 100 MB. It is always better to select maybe 2 MB so that we can have more uploads. As I told in the beginning, maybe 200 MB only may be allowed it for a 45 days trial. So therefore, let us have the maximum upload size 2 MB or whichever you decide. So site upload limit is 100 MB. Another one is completion tracking. That is also important, that I'll discuss later. Right now, I'm not selecting it. Now, in our classroom, we may keep maybe a paper, maybe a group-based paper. I can have different learning groups. I can create the learning groups here itself. For example, when I give an assignment in this particular program, right now, what do? We allow every individual to submit. Whereas suppose I want to give it as a group assignment where there is a collaboration. Yes, then what can I do? I can ask the other groups to assess the other group activity. So there are different ways. Anyway, but this is what we can assign different groups. Then we can have role, that also you don't worry right now. Then if you have any tagging, you can. So right now I'm not doing anything on this. I just given the course full name, short name, visibility, start date, end date, and a small description and topic format, save and display. When I click on save and display, you will get another page called participants. You can see here in the left side where you have seen home, dashboard, site pages, you can see courses, CUICT. So if you click on that, you can see in the right side announcements, topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4. Now, when I'm developing the course, I need to change it. In order to change, in the right top, you can see there is a turn editing on. So whenever you want to develop your course, you need to give the course name and course ID or course short name and the date. Once you have done that, your course framework is ready or the outline is ready. Now I have to develop. So you can click the turn editing on.
Yes, may I interrupt for a while? Can you zoom the screen?
Is it fine?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Participants, please mute your audio. Participants, please mute your audio.
So when you click on, let me show it again. When you have the course, you have to, I am taking one of my paper to develop. So I need to give the inputs in these areas like announcements, topic 1, topic 2. In these, I have to give the details. For that, I need to turn editing on. So when you turn editing on, you can see some more tools getting available here. You can see an edit here. You can see an edit here. You can see a move resource kind of. See, right now when I'm clicking on this point cross, you can see I can take it anywhere. So that and all you can play with this. Now what should I do? Let me type here. There is a pen. Click on that. Now this announcement, I'm just typing for your attention. Just press enter. Now the announcement has changed to for your attention. Now suppose you would like to give some instruction about this course. So this will be your heading. Then there is another plus symbol and add an activity or resource. And this is one of the most important area where you can keep on adding different kind of resources. So when I click on that, you can see there are number of options available. Add an activity or a resource. In a Moodle platform, in a Moodle based course, there are two major things as inputs. One is an activity, another is a resource. So an activity, as you know, the students need to participate in that. A resource would be something that you are providing them to explore by themselves. For a simple example, suppose in my critical understanding of ICT, there is a topic called blog creation. So I can give the handout describing the different steps involved in blog creation, a reading material that will be a resource. Whereas I can give them an assignment, create a blog using Google or Gmail and share the link. That is a task given to the participant. That will be an assignment. So an assignment is an activity. A quiz is an activity. So like that, there are a number of activities available. For example, when I click on assignment, you can see in this section, it explains what is that activity all about. It is about the assignment activity module enable a teacher to communicate tasks, collect work, and provide grades and feedback. So like that, you can explore. Another one is the big blue button. This is one thing which allows you to go for a web conference. You can add that. You can add a chat where the participants can chat with you. The participants can chat each other. Then there is a choice. The module enables teacher to ask a single question and offer a selection of possible responses, maybe a multiple choice kind of thing. Database, external tool. For example, I would like to make the student to develop an EXE based content where I can add an EXE here, or I can add a third party software. Again, there are certain restrictions or conditions, but whichever is syncing with the license of Moodle. As all of you know that Moodle follows Creative Commons licensing, open licensing. And inside Moodle, whatever material we are using, they should also follow the same license. That means we cannot cut, copy, paste some copyrighted material and put it as my course material. There will be a copyright violation. You can go for a feedback. You can have a forum, very, very interesting and essential. Each student can take part. For example, you have given some 10 resources and asking the student, you ask your doubts. So every now and then the student may not be able to ask. So what you can do, you can create a forum. You add a forum to your course where you pose a question. Each student can reply to that and participate in the discussion. You can have a glossary. Suppose you are teaching a paper which is very, very new to the students. There may be number of new terms. You can create a glossary. You can have a lesson activity module. You can have a quiz where this can be used for your assessment. When you do maybe WhatsApp based or Facebook page based and all, your assessment you may have to do it manually, but this you can get automated. You can add SCORM packages. SCORM is it is the international standard for e-content. And if you have some package which follows the SCORM guidelines, you can add that here. You can have a survey. You can have a wiki. You can have a workshop. So I request all of you, maybe today by tomorrow itself, you explore and try to understand. Now the other thing, you have resources. The resources, as I told, this is for the reference of the students. You can have a book. This book module enables the teacher to create multi-page resource in a book-like format. Now, most of you may have material in Word format. That entire maybe related to that particular paper, whatever material you have, you can put it as a book and give to the students. If there are individual files, you can upload. If it is a folder, you can share here. If it is an IMS content package, you can have a label. You can have an external page. You can have a URL. Now, one most important unwritten rule when you use a Moodle site, please don't dump all your material in this because the size may not be enough. So what we do, for example, I have some 10 videos on my particular paper. Don't try to upload the video here in your course itself. What you can do, you put it in some maybe Google Drive or OneDrive of Microsoft and share the link in here using the URL so that your site will be less, it will not be heavy. It will be very robust and you can do a lot. So right now I'm not adding anything here. Then come to the topic 1. Click on that. Let me write unit 1, introduction to ICT. So now you can see my first unit based on my syllabus. I have taken introduction to ICT. I am adding in this particular unit. I am adding maybe a URL. Let me add a URL. Click on that. Now you can see adding a new URL to unit 1 introduction to ICT. So let me take a page. Let me take a page. Yes. For example, I have a page here, information and communication technology. It's a Wikipedia. So what you can do, you can copy the address. Copy the address. From here, you can give a name, wiki page on ICT. Here, you can paste the URL that you have copied. Then if you are very particular about what exactly the students can get from this particular URL, you can have a short description. Wiki page on ICT. So my draft is saved. Now you can see display description on course page. You can click yes or no. Appearance, URL variables, common module setting, that and all I am leaving. One important thing is restrict access. You can add restrictions. we can have competencies. So this is a URL, and you can click on save and returns to course. Now you can see in my unit 1 introduction to ICT, I have added one page, wiki page on ICT. Means I have added one resource. So like this, you can keep on adding. For example, if you have a file, you click add. Now let me have a file. I have a PDF file. I will download it. I'll have a desktop. Now, what you can do, you can click on this file. The name you can give document on ICT. You can have a description. And see here, you can select a file. You can select a file, or you can create a folder and keep the different files here. Then click here. Clicking on the arrow mark take you to this page. Let me show once again. If you want to add a file, click on this arrow mark, or even if you have a file open, you can drag and drop in this. This is familiar to you. Now let me click on that. Let me select, upload a file, choose a file name. It is there in my, the introduction is here, open. So the introduction PDF is being added. Introduction, author name you can give, choose the license. There are different licenses available. I hope all of you may be familiar with the Creative Commons licensing, or else I will share the material, you can read it. Upload this file. Now you can see my file has uploaded. Common module setting, sorry, appearance, you can see automatic, display automatically. It can be embedded. Embedded means the content will be the part of the course. It would be better to show automatic. Show the size, all these you can work. Competencies, if you have, if you say that yes, you can, they can have. Suppose you are giving a reading material. The students can read those material, and we never expect any competency for that. Whereas, suppose you give some material which is very important, you can say that they have to complete the activity. When you say they complete the activity, save and return to course, right? You can see there is document on ICT, it is added. So like this, you can add resources. And let me add an activity. Activity is assignment. Click add. Now again, so whenever you add a resource or activity, you will get the this kind of page where you can add assignment name. Let me type introduction, description, need to explore and report on ICT. I'm just giving something. Now this is an assignment. If you have something reading material, again you can drag and drop here. And now when in face-to-face, you'll tell the date. By this date you have to submit. Now the same thing here also. But when in face-to-face, what happened, when you say the date, always the date will be extended. IST for us is not Indian Standard Time, it is Indian Stretchable Time. So that flexibility is there. Now you can do it automatically here. Allow the submission from 25th May onwards, due date, and let me say that it is 1 June, means there is 1 week I have already enabled. Cutoff date also I can give, and it will remind me as a teacher, it will remind me, yes, you have given an assignment, go and grade it. Then submission type. The submission type, it can be an online text where the students need to open this site and write. The other one is file submission. File submission is they have to submit the file in different format. Maximum number of upload files. You can restrict the number of files upload. I'm allowing only 1 file. Maximum submission size is 1. Then accepted file type. Now sometimes what happens, the students may have a Microsoft Word document, docs file, or they may have a PDF file, or they may have an ODT file, LibreOffice file, or they may have an image. So which one you are allowing? You can click choose. You can see here all these are available. Now I'm providing option for all types. Any kind of files can be uploaded by the students. Save change. Now you can see feedback type. What kind of feedback you would like to give back. Then you can have submission setting. Attempts reopen, group submission setting, notifications. I'm not going there. And one thing you can decide, the grade for the assignment that they have submitted. What is the grade I would like to give? So here you can see that it is the point, maximum grade is 100. I am converting it into 50. So out of 50, I have to give the marks. So grading method, you can directly, by reading the assignment the student submitted, you can directly give a mark. Or there are different options. You can have a marking guide, or you can have a rubric. I hope most of you are familiar with the term rubric. Anyway, I'm not going to explain. Even you can have the use of a rubric which can be shared well in advance with the students, so that the advantage that they come to know, if I need to get maximum grade, what is expected from me. So I'm just giving simple direct grading. Then grade to pass. So out of 50, let me say that 50% should be obtained by the student to pass. That again depends on you. Then common module setting, you can click on that. If you are very particular about that, restrict access, competencies, you can say that upon activity completion, they don't want to do anything. So when you say this, we may not be knowing whether the student has done or not. The student may say that I have already done, I have submitted. It may not be available to you, but the student can argue with you. So what you can do, attach evidence, send for review, complete the competency. So let me say that, attach evidence, save and return. Now, in my first unit, I have added 2 resources and 1 activity. So this is what you can keep on adding. You can keep on adding. Now let me turn editing off. Once you have done it, let me turn editing off. Now you can see my page would be like this. Now let me go to CUICT page. My course page will be visible for the students like this. So the students can click on this. When they click on that, they can get the material. They can read that material and take up the project or whatever it may be. And they can click on this. They can go to that particular wiki page and start reading and working. So like this, in each unit, you can keep on adding the different resources, and this would be the best way to keep our students engaged. Even what you can do once you develop this particular unit, suppose there are 5 activities and 5 resources. You share a plan with the students. Day 1, you are supposed to go through resource number 1. Day 2, you are supposed to go through activity number 1. So like that, we can have a plan, working plan, share with the students. Based on the plan, you can see the working of the student. Now, so this is about constructing or developing a course. Now, what is next? Next is adding participants. Now, how will I add participants? What you can do, when you click on participant, you can get a page like this. Search keyword or self filter. There are different ways. Now, number of participant is 0. Now, let me enroll a student. Now, there is another option. You can see here, there is enroll users. And also, you have an option here with selected users, what you can do. Right now, I don't have any. So I'm clicking on enroll users. So when you enroll users, what you can do right now, you collect your student's mail ID and you can select users. Now, since there is my mail ID, it will show my mail ID. If you have maybe an Excel, you can take it from there. So there is show more. You can see enrollment duration, all these are possible. No selection. Let me search Sarjan. So right now I don't have a database, therefore I may have to take any mail ID. So I'm just taking my own mail ID, assign a role. By default, it is a student role. Starting from now, enrollment duration is given. I can assign the role maybe only for 4 days or 5 days, or it can be unlimited till the course ends. Enroll user. So manually you can type your student mail IDs and you can enroll. So you will get a the student name, mail ID, the role. If you have already assigned a group, that is in an advanced way. Right now I'm not telling. Access to the course. Now onwards, right now I have accessed the course. Therefore it is showing. This is the timeline. And the status says it is active. So I have enrolled one student. Let me take, maybe let me take one. Sarjan sir's mail ID. Let me go here, enroll user. Give the mail ID, Sarjan email, and enroll users. It is not. There is no suggestion. I don't know whether it is working mail ID, but if you are getting the working mail ID, it can be selected and enroll users. Enrollment method is there. Manual enrollment. Manual enrollment. Right now I have manually enrolled, and there is self-enrollment. When you click on self-enrollment, even you can allow the students to enroll by themselves. You need not enroll anything. You can share the name, share the link, site and course site, and they can enroll. So like this, you can create a course in Moodle Cloud. So advantage is that all the work that you are doing will be captured in Moodle Cloud, and you always can take a backup. That is a great advantage. Whatever course you are designing here, you can take the backup once you completed the course design, you can take the backup and save it. Maybe after 45 days, when you open another Moodle Cloud account, you can install this back, so that whatever you are working right now, it can be used anywhere at any time. Or suppose maybe after maybe 1 month your institute is having a Moodle server, you can install this course into that Moodle server again. And there is question bank. There are lots of options available. Right now, maybe I'll stop this. I know that there will be a number of queries, so I would try to share some of the maybe handout videos or screencast so that you can do by yourself. So this is maybe one of your assignment for the day, to create a Moodle site and create a course. I think till this it will be familiar to you. So can I move to the next? Rajan sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So another option for us is Google Classroom. So how will I use the Google Classroom? So in a Google Classroom, those who are having a Gmail ID, you know that in your Google Classroom, Google Gmail, you have 9 dots in the right top, where it shows the Google Apps. When you click on that, you can see all the applications available in the Google Suite. So we call it as Google Suite, which gives the different kind of applications. So you can see that there is a Google Search, Drive, Meet, Gmail, Maps. When you come down, you can see there is Google Classroom. Click on Google Classroom. You'll be getting a page like this. I have already 2 classes accessed. One is on complex analysis and another is class 5 recently for my kid I have accessed. So here you can see what you have to do. You have to create a class. Create, you can see the Google Classroom title. To the right end, you can see there is a create or join a class. So either you can join a class if you are having the credential of the class, or you can create a class. So right now, maybe tomorrow itself, you can create a class keeping your students. What is that? Using classroom at a school or university with student. Please read it. Most of the time, we blindly click on this and click on continue. So I can give the class name. Maybe I'll say that first SEM B.Ed section, I may say physical science. Then subject, I may say critical understanding of ICT. The room, I'll say A. You can give anything. Click on create. So it is creating a class. Right. You can see now. You can see there is a first SEM B.Ed physical science class code. This is the code you can share with the students. This is the code you can share, SCG3B7K. You can share with the students, they can join in the classroom, or you can add them. So here you have create and schedule announcement, respond to students post whenever they post it. And this is a stream. Then you can see there is a classwork. You can create the classwork, create assignments and questions, use topics to organize classwork into modular or units, and you can order it. Then you have option called people. So right now there is a teacher. Then there is student. So I'm just try to add a student. Let me write Sajan email. We can see Sajan email invite. So now Sajan sir will get an invitation. Once he accepts that invitation, this will be active. So he can, if you have all the mail ID of your students, he can copy paste into this section, and he can send the invite to the students so that they can join. And then we have a section called marks based on the activities and based on the class work. And when you are creating the classwork, for example, you can create an assignment, quiz, question, material, reuse the post, whichever you have already used. So I'm creating an assignment. Now, title, exploring ICT. Instruction I can give, explore different educational websites and make a report. Now, points, the same thing what we have seen in Moodle. I say that it is unmarked or it can be 100. Okay, I can give the due date and time I can select. This will be based on your Google Calendar. Time optional I am giving 5 p.m. So Wednesday 27 May 5 p.m. By this time they have to submit. Topic I can give, and if there is an assessment rubric, you can click on the rubric. You can create a rubric. You can reuse, import from sheets. You can create a rubric in Google Sheet and import. And if you have some additional material, you can add here. So I'm just clicking on assign. Right. So the students can see this assignment and start working. And once the students are submitting, you will get the assignments. You can open and start grading the assignment. And here also you can create quiz, question, material. For example, if it is a material, with your assignment, add or create docs. Now, title. Maybe I'll write introduction. Adding the page. You can add your Google Drive. You can add a link. You can add a YouTube. You can have a file. So in YouTube, if you come across any videos which is very supportive to your course, you can take that, or you can create your own YouTube channel, and whatever course videos you are preparing using maybe your mobile, you can upload in that and share here. So right now, let me take a file, upload, select from your device. I am selecting from my device. Introduction is there. Open, upload. So my file is getting uploaded. Post. Even you can give a topic for that. Now you can see there is an introduction, there is an assignment. So like this, you can keep on adding the resources as well as assignments. And even you can try the quiz. Now you can do a comparison of which would be better, whether Moodle Cloud or Google Classroom. It's up to you. I cannot compel anyone to use Moodle Cloud, but the advantage of a Moodle Cloud is that because even in some state, the state governments have already given notification that Moodle should be the platform. Maybe some universities are also insisting to go with the Moodle. So when you start working on Moodle, maybe in a later period, if your institute have a Moodle Cloud, easily you can transfer your course into that. That would be an advantage. So this is one. Similar way, there are edmodo.com. Clicking on that. you'll get a page like this. You can sign up to create a new account. Those who are having an account, you can so you will get a page like this where you can add classes. You can see there is a my class, create a class. You can create a class, name of your class, description, select a grade, kindergarten, higher education, whatever it may be. So similarly, what we have done in Google Classroom, we can create. So this also would be a better suggestion. Why? Because you may be using Google Group to share the resources. You may use WhatsApp to share the resources, but compiling or capturing the student work and keeping it in some place, some place where you can easily use, reuse, you need to have a server. That would be a better one. So you can explore Edmodo. Another one is Canvas. Canvas instructor, or even you can have canvas.net. You can create a account here and you can start creating the classes and share with the students. So these are the three I thought I can share with you, so that those who are interested, there may be different ways, but by my experience, I prefer Moodle first, Google Classroom second, and Edmodo or Canvas as third. So it's up to you. You decide yourself which is best for you, and then you can decide what would be working for you, what would be easy for your students, and you select. But maybe the course coordinators, the training coordinators may be giving some assignments. One would be creating a Moodle site. So I hope I can stop the presentation. Maybe I can keep the session open for 1 or 2. I think maybe the coordinators can decide how many maybe interactions are possible. Okay.
Sir, thank you very much. Usually a resource person will be handling Moodle. We'll stick only on to Moodle, but you familiarize the participants, other LMS platforms also. Thank you very much. There are 4 questions, sir. Shall I read one by one?
Yeah, please.
The first question is raised by Jyotsna Madam. That's what's the maximum size of students for video conferencing allowed via Big Blue button?
Big Blue button, right now it will allow 10.
Okay, sir. The second question is raised by Ani Tanwar. He asked that how can we know that which student is online or left the class? I think it's about Moodle.
Okay, Moodle, see, Moodle in the sense, if you can keep the Moodle site open, it again, how do you administer? If you are keeping your online open, you can see that. Otherwise, there is something called report. In the site administration, you can see a report. In the report, you can see, as you may be remembering a page where I have shown you the participants.
Yes,
click on the participants. Against each participant, it will show how much time before they were active. For example, if a student was active 2 days back, you'll get that 48 hours before or 2 days before. That means that student has not accessed the site for last 2 days. So some students may have 1 hour before or 5 minutes before, or like what status we are getting in Facebook, WhatsApp and all, we'll get a green dot. Those who are online, you can get the green dot. Others will get a time, at which time they were online or active. So based on that, you can. And there is one more option called those who are having a Moodle server. Right now in Moodle Cloud, that is not available. That module is not available. But when you have a Moodle server, you have a module called attendance. Either the teacher can mark the attendance or the student can mark the attendance. So there are different add-on modules possible in Moodle when you have a server. I hope I have cleared the question.
Yes, sir. The third question is by Jijan, sir. What is the expense of purchasing a Moodle server?
Very interesting question. Sir, the expense for a server, even if you have a laptop having 4 GB RAM, maybe 500 GB memory, you can convert your laptop as a server. Like any server, depending upon your need, depending upon, for example, sir, in your institute, if you have 500 students and maybe some 20 teachers, so you think about how much data would be needed, uploaded and transacted. So if you need maybe more than 100 GB, then you have to think of that kind of server. For example, right now in our university, we have around 500 GB server. You can have a rack server. There are different kind of servers. So that server cost is basically the hardware cost. And Moodle, as you know, it is a free software. You can download and install. There is no cost for the software. The Moodle server is the hardware cost that you can decide maybe according to your need. Even my laptop, I have a 4 GB Core i7, 4 GB RAM and 1 TB memory. My laptop is a Moodle server.
Sir, shall we pass on to next question?
Yes.
It's raised by Srividya Nair. Teacher asked that after 45 days, should we have to use another account to create a Moodle?
You can revive the same account. See, right now for last 1 year, I am using the same site which I have shown. So though they are saying 45 days trial, if you are not working anything on that, then you will get a reminder. We are going to delete your account. So if you are keep on working, I think that can be even for 1 year, it can work.
I think that's all about.
Yeah.
That's all about, sir.
Somebody, I think in their text chat, I could see Hena B. Prakash. Is it costly to access Moodle? The Moodle which I accessed right now, it's free of cost. It's a Moodle cloud site. And those who are very interested to learn more about this, there are MOOCs available from the Moodle headquarters. The address is learn.moodle.net. You can access that. You can enroll yourself. There are self-paced MOOCs available about Moodle. Or you access the Moodle website, there are documentations. There are lots of materials available about Moodle, how to do everything step by step is also available. So my idea here is just to give maybe an eye opener that yes, there is a platform like this, which is very, very useful. And in the morning, I had a session around 100 teachers from Kerala Technological University, KTU. We were having around 2 hours video conferencing. And right now at 2:30, we started an online session for the Calicut University department faculties. The VC was inaugurating the session. So having a Moodle server would be a better suggestion for some of the institutes. For individuals, you can try Moodle Cloud. And it's free of cost. Yeah. Genomio would also be a suggestion, but the problem is Genomio contains, it is a free open source software. Maybe people say that alternative to Moodle. The danger there is Genomio makes money from advertisements. So there will be lots of advertisements coming in Genomio website. Right now, the site what I have shown, there were no advertisement at all. Whereas when you use Genomio, there will be number of advertisements which we cannot control. There can be number of varieties of advertisement which may distract. So a better suggestion would be a Moodle, and those who are comfortable with Genomio, you can do it. And I think Pramod Kumar Madeshia asked which one is less technical. There is no nothing called less technical and more technical. It's up to you how much time you can spend on trial and error with the software. Thank you.
Sir, Pramod Kumar sir has raised one more question. Could you please tell about some strategies which can ensure the mental presence of students while online session?
While during the online session, the mental presence, sir, basically we say that how best we design our instruction. See, basically, if I was showing my face for all these 1.5 hours, most of you might have quit. Either you will close your webcam and you may be listening. And how much time I can listen? That is another question. So you decide, maybe you vary the presentation, the style of presentation. In between, you can go for interaction with one or two participants. So it's up to you and the rapport that you are having with your target audience. See, right now, there are around 85 people in this Google Meet, and you were keeping the best etiquette. You were never trying to open your microphone or raising the disturbances. That means you have the etiquettes. So you can have an orientation with your students. What are all possible? What are all things you are trying to execute in an online session? You share it with the students. Maybe you can say that first 10 minutes, I may have a video, I'll show a video. Then we will have a discussion. Or first 5 minutes, I will have a reading material. So it's up to you how best you design it. There is no shortcut. And please try to have a robust plan. And see, that is the great danger we are facing right now. See, earlier also, we were having people making use of online platforms. But the challenge was when this COVID has came and lockdown has initiated, everybody started coming online. The problem was we were not planned thoroughly. When you have a thoroughly planned online course, I think there won't be any problem with your participants. Yes, sir. It won't you have to go to for the free version. Because they may be asking the payment and you come down in that page. Come down in the page, you will get an option called free. See, this is one maybe one request with all participants. See, when you have a Google Meet, when you have an online, see right now, and I can have the video. Some of you, your webcams are on, and some of you are texting. So I need to have a multitasking. I need to listen to the participant. I need to look at the text message. I need to look at maybe some of you if you are sleeping or if there are some disturbance. So I may have to do that. Also, when you have an online screen, please read all the options. Don't come to a conclusion that like what sir was telling, this is asking for the payment. You scroll down In the same page, you have an option called free version or free trial. So please read the screen. This may be a literacy we have to maybe develop. Please read the screen. Please read the message. That is up to the coordinator. Maybe I'll share it later. Yeah, I hope my email ID is already there. Any participant for any queries, you can write to me in the mail. Yes.
Sir, one last question. I think it's the last question from Krishnapriya ma'am. Is it necessary that the participants have to register on their own, or we have to add them?
Both are possible. Either, see, right now I was adding, I was trying to add one or two. Those mail IDs are familiar to me. Or else what I can do, I can share the link, ask them to register. So both options are possible. Either you can share the link and ask them to register, or you can collect their mail ID and you can register by yourself.
Hello, sir. We are grateful to have such a resource person. Your session was so nice and informative. And there is one query by Abhirami ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Is it in Google Classrooms?
Okay.
Is this possible to post PPT in Google Classrooms? Abhirami ma'am asked in the comment box.
You can upload. I have already demonstrated uploading a PDF. You can upload any kind of materials in Google Classroom. Even you can have a screencast. You can convert it as a video. You can upload in YouTube. My request is you try. There is no harm. There is nothing to worry in working with any of the platform. You do go for a trial and error. You will become the master maybe within one day.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, one more question from Navya Anthony. Once 45 days trial period is over, can we retain the course content?
Yes. Maybe in the 44th day, what you can do, you can take the backup. So by taking the backup, the entire materials will be stored with you. That can be reinstalled in any of the Moodle. Okay, yes. No, now each one of us can try to find out what is the problem of getting more number of participants in the Google Meet. Even a day before yesterday, I was having a problem of splitting my screen. So sometimes when you go for presentation, the Google Meet is not giving a feedback what exactly you're presenting. So I could find out that how exactly I can work in two different windows. One window I can keep the Google Meet, the other window I can work, and I can share that window in the presentation. So we are all in the same boat, nothing to worry. We are all in the same boat. We all are learning, and maybe this large number of participants as a group, we can support each other and learn better.
Sir, one more question from Jijan sir. Can you tell how to do the backup in Moodle trial?
In the site administration, as I have told, in the site administration, down when you come down, you can see there is a backup. Click on backup, and when you click on backup, it will allow you to take you some 3-4 steps. You just click next. You will have a small file, maybe around 240 KB file, which contains your entire course. maybe as the final note, I would like to thank the coordinators. Though I am working at Central University of Tamil Nadu, I am proud enough to say that still I'm a member of NSS family, NSS Training College, Ottapalam, as my first workplace, and all the faculty, principal, all are my mentors, even I can say that. So thanks a lot for giving an opportunity to share maybe whatever I have experienced. So I wish all the participants a great learning engagement in these days. Please, those who are very interested, take part and let us have a learning community and learn together. Thank you.
Thank you, Piju sir. Thank you once again.
Sergeant sir, some participants asking what is the assignment that they have to complete today.
Yes, sir. I think it is very clear now. Yes. Am I audible?
Yes, audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Then thank you, participants. I think the session was really useful and very much informative. I got so much feedback from YouTube viewers that the session was really informative and very much useful. Once again, thank you very much, Biju sir, for spending your valuable time with us and sharing your expertise in the field of learning management system. Thank you very much. We can meet tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. In the same platform, and we will share the link 5 minutes before the commencement of the program. Thank you.